And I'm mentioning this next thing because I've seen a few people ask me why I haven't talked too much about him. And it's this Andrew Tate guy. And I've mentioned the past one or two things. I've actually shown a couple of his videos because they weren't bad. He says a lot of similar stuff to what I say. But, you know, saying the system's a scam, it's rigged, all that kind of stuff. And, but somehow he's like super, super famous. But of course, it's because, like, once you know enough about the Matrix and you've done the work enough, you can just see things. And to me, it's like the most obvious thing. He's clearly controlled opposition. Like, I could go into all kinds of reasons for it, but I've seen it very quickly from, you know, just the other day, he's on with one of the worst people on earth, a mainstream corporate propaganda channel guy, Piers Morgan, and he's like just playing chess with him on the television programming.
We're going to have a game of speed chess. Winner takes all.
I was on television programming like 3 times. I exposed the Federal Reserve each time.
Well, what you've just described is the same with the Federal Reserve. No one really knows who owns the Federal Reserve.
Oh, no, come on, you can't say that. The Federal Reserve has been around for 100 years. They're a notable operation. They're somewhat similar to central banks all the way around the world. You cannot say that nobody knows who owns the Federal Reserve.
Well, do you know who owns it?
Isn't it owned by major banks?
See, no one knows.
Isn't that it?
No one really knows. There's no actual conclusive evidence.
And I've been deleted and banned everywhere ever since. But Andrew Tate does similar things, and he's super famous. He's on like Joe Rogan, who's also controlled opposition. And that's how it all works. Everything's a trick, basically. Almost everything in this world. And so yeah, he's like just playing chess with Piers Morgan on TV. And I actually noticed this, I saw this tweet. And as soon as I saw it, I said, oh, something's about to happen. They're flashing the 33, letting people know. Andrew Tate mercilessly trolls Greta. I have 33 cars with enormous emissions. I'll email you the full details. So Greta Thunberg's obviously also controlled opposition. Like, that's what I said about like the US in general. Like everyone is like a Fed, a KGB, undercover spy type thing. So Greta is one, and she's got a huge audience because of that. Like, she speaks with pretty much every president on earth regularly. And so she's like really blowing up Andrew Tate and getting lots of people following him because she got into a little spat with him. And he throws up the 33. And I said this like 2 days ago. I said something's about to happen. He's like signaling, because, you know, I can mention all kinds of stuff. Like how I've done like thousands of hours of video, talk about tons of stuff. When has it ever been mentioned ever in like the mainstream corporate propaganda press? The only time it ever is to try to like totally slam me, say I'm a Holocaust denier, a Nazi, you know, all that kind of stuff. Andrew Tate, everything he says, it just gets like, everyone shares it, who are all basically what you could call Illuminati types. But as soon as I saw that 33, I was like, okay, something's about to happen, and then it did, and then he gets arrested. Human trafficking, which is kind of funny because this is a total, it's like World Wrestling, it's like a psyop. But, you know, Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's clients, not one of them has ever been even like questioned about human trafficking. But they're going to say Andrew Tate is doing that kind of stuff to, of course, deflect and take away attention and kind of show, like, look, the governments are trying to get rid of these human traffickers. Sure. But it's so obvious, and even if you just look at it, here he is in the back of the cop car, purposely throwing up the triangle. His brother did the same, walking down the stairs, brother pointing down, Andrew's pointing up. Freemasons. Yeah, I won't even get into it, but he probably had to have his dad get killed to be in the upper echelon of the Illuminati stuff. But anyway, but most people don't see it. They're like, he says some pretty good stuff. So yeah, but he's totally controlled opposition.